welcome to TRT World. I'm Jaffar Hasnain coming to you live from Damascus. This weekend, it will be 3 weeks since the collapse of the Assad regime. We are coming live to you from the U.S. Capitol. Our team will be broadcasting from multiple locations around the world. 4 years after his controversial exit, Donald Trump is set to return to the White House. Unidentified gunmen in the southwestern Russian region of Dagestan have attacked multiple locations, killing at least 7 police officers. And it's so exciting to see young minds gathered in one single place discussing matters that matter the most. And of course, you, the youth, are the leaders. You are the people who are going to make an impact in this world. So first and foremost, let's begin with a round of applause for yourselves for being here. Thank you very much. If you still have faith in the United Nations, raise your hands. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. The majority disagrees, and these are some of the brightest minds studying at some of the best schools in the world. Maria, what kind of message do you think it sends to the international community, the decision makers, the UN Secretary General?
Wow, ouch. That's what I would say.
And I've spoken to a lot of locals here in New York, and most of them tell me that they have lost faith in the United Nations. And I believe it's fair to say that the role of the UN is being increasingly questioned, given the fact there are conflicts raging in Sudan, Gaza, Ukraine. So tell me, do you think people expect more from the United Nations than it can actually do?
Well, I think, Jaffar, one of the important things...
What is that one thing that we are not doing right? What do we need to overcome right now at this moment if we want to avoid a major crisis when it comes to food?
Implementation.
It is having some sort of impact on Israel. For example, the UK just said it would block some arms exports to Israel over humanitarian law concerns. So could Tel Aviv, could Netanyahu continue its war on Gaza without the support of London? Welcome to our U.S. election special coverage set. We are here just outside the U.S. Capitol getting ready to go on air with our team at 17 GMT. With just 5 days to go before presidential elections here in the United States, the stakes have never been higher. Both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are rallying the western part of the country. They have planned events in Nevada and Arizona. We'll get the latest from our correspondent Craig Boswell. More than 13 million people in the country. They lack some of the most basic necessities of life. 90% of the population of the country is facing poverty. Now, there's this talk about political stability, economic stability, social contract, but correct me if I'm wrong, economic stability cannot happen until and unless there is political stability in the country.
Well, I mean, let's take a...
We're in open sea right now. These are very dangerous waters. Through the darkness, voices shout back in multiple languages, pleading for help. When we talk about the youth of Syria, tell me, what is your navigation through the biggest challenge they are facing right now?
Thank you so much for...
Right now, it seems these protests are peaceful, but is there any concern among the protesters that things might get out of hand? Because I did see a lot of New York Police Department officers on the streets.
Well, we're, of course, peacefully exercising our First Amendment.
Meanwhile, more and more countries are reaching out to Syria's new administration over the past few days. The Qatari, Jordanian, and Turkish foreign ministers have visited Damascus. What does that mean for the future of the political process here in Syria? Now, of course, you see far-right figures repeatedly blaming high immigration levels for the United Kingdom's social and economic problems. But many studies have shown that austerity measures introduced by the Conservative government have played a more significant role in these crises. So why does the far-right and some politicians in the United Kingdom continue to deflect responsibility away from these policies?
I think the truth is...
It's Prime Minister Netanyahu's reluctance, which is not allowing the ceasefire to go into the second phase, because the US is on board, Hamas is on board. Why didn't he speak about reforms last year, the year before last year, and the first time he addressed the UNGA? Is it because he knows he's leaving and you know what? It's about time to do the right thing.
There's always the chance of lame duck sentiments.
At the UNGA Hall, major milestones have been reached, like the adoption of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948, which has laid the foundation for international human rights that we still follow. Thank you very much. And I think what makes this place so remarkable is the fact that every country is represented here, no matter its size or the region that it comes from. World leaders here have tackled pressing issues from apartheid and nuclear disarmament to climate change and peace building, and now it is real, it is impacting us in more dangerous ways than ever before. But I do wonder, is climate change the biggest factor behind migration?
Yes and no, because
With Western sanctions on Russia and military aid to Ukraine complicating Moscow's war effort, President Putin has been busy carving out his position in what is increasingly becoming a multipolar world. And for more on Ankara's contribution to the historic prisoner swap, joining me from Washington, D.C. is former U.S. diplomat William Lawrence, and from Oslo, Glenn Dyson, a professor at the University of Southeastern Norway. Gentlemen, great to have you here with us. Let me begin by asking you something that has been asked many times in the past. Does the U.S. still have a race problem? I understand you went to Butler, Pennsylvania. That's where the attempted assassination on Donald Trump took place. But what do you think this attempted assassination, this political violence tells us about the wider political spectrum of the country?
Right, I want to bring in Tim here. Tim, I want to talk about Joe Biden. To what extent do you think Joe Biden is to be blamed for Kamala's defeat?
I think, the fact that you have a president and a presidency that was not popular and was not successful.
On the indispensable role of parliaments and interparliamentary dialogue in promoting peace, stability and democracy across the world.
And with that, it's a goodbye. From me and my team here in Washington, we'll see you again on Monday at 17 GMT. Have a great weekend.